Ladies, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is what you call a real American house nigga with an ER on the end. You understand me? With an ER on the end. He quit, and this is December the 7th, 2023, ladies and gentlemen. Let's listen to what this coon ass nigga got to say about immigration. Let's go.
Question?
Leader Jeffries.
Thanks.
Leader Jeffries, would you agree with, Democrats agree with President Biden's position that you'd be willing to accept changes to the immigration process in exchange for aid to Ukraine?
And like I said, ladies and gentlemen, everything these motherfuckers do, their playbook been exposed. Everything is for these illegal migrants. So when he come up there capping talking about the American people, he's really talking about the illegal migrants. He don't give a damn about the American people or his party. They are here to cause mass confusion, and they trying to burn America down and replace Americans with these illegal migrants that's flooding the country. Let's go.
We have clearly expressed an interest in making sure that we find a bipartisan, comprehensive path forward.
See, bipartisan. You understand what I'm saying? But see, this nigga get caught up in so many goddamn lies, ladies and gentlemen. This nigga at this point ain't nothing but a puppet, man. Straight sad ass puppet, man. Let's listen to this coon ass nigga.
To sensible immigration reform that is consistent with American values, anchored in two principles. First, that we are a nation of immigrants.
A nation of immigrants.
And that has been an incredibly important competitive advantage for America and our exceptionalism. Second, we are a nation anchored in the rule of law. Anything that's on the table, and we've seen nothing specific to evaluate, has to be consistent with those two deeply held American principles. It is unfortunate that extreme MAGA Republicans in the House and the Senate would rather side with the pro-Putin forces in this country than America's national security interests, which clearly rests with making sure that Ukraine is successful in defeating Vladimir Putin and Russian aggression.
This house nigga talking about aid for Ukraine. A lot of them was giving aid to Ukraine. But goddamn it, now it comes down to the American citizens, you willing to shut the government down. Selfish ass nigger, man. Selfish ass nigger.
In defeating Vladimir Putin and Russian aggression. Specifically, in terms of what may be on the table, we'll have to evaluate anything that is presented to us or sent over by the Senate. But anything has to be consistent with those two deeply held American principles that I've articulated.
Everything this coon ass nigga came up to talk about was about immigration and migrants. Nothing to really do about the American people. Let's listen to this house nigga one more time.
Is any compromise on immigration the Senate could send over that the House Republicans would take up? Or are you resigned to the fact they just want the issue for the campaign?
That's a question that Speaker Johnson and Republicans are going to have to answer. And we may or may not confront that within the next week or two. I'm thankful that President Biden convened leadership from both sides of the aisle and both sides of the Capitol at the White House yesterday to talk about the urgent need to fund the Ukrainian war effort and to arrive at a bipartisan agreement on the other issues that are on the table, including improving the situation at the border.
Listen to this.
The president wants to solve the challenges facing the American people, including fixing our broken immigration system.
That's what
but
they
that
want
has
to do,
be done in a bipartisan, common sense, humane, effective fashion. And it is not clear that many House Republicans actually want to address the challenges at the border as opposed to politicizing them.
What do you make of the fact that several members in your party voted with Republicans yesterday to condemn President Biden's border policy?
I don't necessarily interpret that vote in that fashion, but you'll have to speak to those individual members about, why they voted in the manner that they did. Shred of evidence that President Joe Biden has engaged in wrongdoing. There is not a shred of evidence that President Joe Biden has committed an impeachable offense. There is not a shred of evidence that President Joe Biden has committed a crime. President Joe Biden is a good man. He's an honest man. He's a patriotic man. House Democrats will defend President Biden today. We will defend President Biden tomorrow. We will defend President Biden next week. We will defend President Biden next month. We will defend President Biden next year. We will defend President Biden until the very end. We are here as members of the Congressional Black Caucus to weigh in on the important issue that confronts this nation as it relates to the need for comprehensive immigration reform. It's my honor and my privilege to represent the 8th Congressional District, anchored in Brooklyn and parts of Southwest Queens, one of the most diverse districts in the country, a district that has blacks and whites, Asians, Latinos, immigrants from every corner of the world. I recognize in the capacity of my representation in that district the significance that immigrants have given both to the communities that I represent as well as to the city of New York, the state, and the nation.
Immigrants.
I'm proud that we've
Back
been
then
joined
he
by
was still
several
talking that shit.
distinguished members of the Congressional.
This 12 years ago, ladies and gentlemen, he talking that shit. So you know damn well they trying to get more bread for what, ladies and gentlemen? It's your playbook is trash, my nigga. Your shit trash, my nigga. Whoever putting that battery in your back got you out that bitch wide open. Shame on you and shame on them. That shit ain't working. We see the play.
Black Caucus, which for more than 4 decades has been known as the conscience of the Congress. And in that capacity, the Congressional Black Caucus has year after year spent time trying to perfect our democracy and create a more perfect union. We confront that moment right now here in this great country of ours as we try and figure out how we deal with creating a pathway towards citizenship for the more than 11 million undocumented immigrants who are forced to toil.
Now, see, now you heard that. This nigga whole agenda, ladies and gentlemen, is trying to get more funding for these illegal migrants. So they rather get ahead and shut the country down, shut the government down, because he's that goddamn selfish. Don't give a damn about the American people because they're not getting their way to get more money to fund these illegal migrants. As you can see, his whole goddamn track record show he is willing and able to put his life on the line for illegal migrants, man. Immigration and all that bullshit, man. But yet you come up here and say you don't want nothing to do with Trump immigration law, the new beautiful bill, right? You a hypocrite, nigga.
In the shadows.
Minority leader threatened to give out House Minority Leader threatened to give out the addresses and phone numbers and contact information for ICE agents who have stepped up and said, we'll help you, Donald Trump. We'll take out the trash and get those people out of our country. But we don't really want, drug dealers and people who traffic in humans and drugs. We don't want those people coming to our house and killing our families. So we're going to do it anonymously with a mask. Hakeem Jeffries is making that seem like a crime.
Every single ICE agent who's engaged in this aggressive overreach and are trying to hide their identities from the American people will be unsuccessful in doing that. This is America.
The House.
On in the news today. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries is calling on the Supreme Court to hold the Trump administration in contempt over the deportation of Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia, a Salvadoran migrant. The Supreme Court had ordered that Abrego Garcia be treated as if he was never deported, after finding his removal was illegal. The administration, however, contends that Abrego Garcia was ineligible for immigration relief due to alleged MS-13 gang ties. While Abrego Garcia is married to a U.S. citizen and has 3 children, prior court decisions cited insufficient evidence to counter claims of gang affiliation. Senator Chris Van Hollen is also advocating for Abrego Garcia's return, seeking talks with El Salvador's president. The situation remains unresolved, spotlighting the tension between court orders and executive actions in high-profile immigration cases. What are your thoughts? For more updates on the news, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button.
The thing, we've made clear that we're ready, we're willing, we're able to sit down with anyone at any time, any place, including the president, to have a discussion about avoiding a painful and catastrophic Republican-caused government shutdown. But at the same period of time, we've also been very clear. We do not support this partisan Republican spending bill because it continues to gut the health care of the American people. We want no part of that. We've seen a massive attack on the health care of everyday Americans, largest cut to Medicaid in American history. We've seen hospitals and nursing homes and community-based health clinics close all across America because of the one big ugly bill. They refuse to extend the tax credits for the Affordable Care Act, which is going to result in at least 20 million Americans experiencing incredibly skyrocketing premiums, copays, and deductibles. There's actually a $536 billion cut to Medicare that may occur because of what Republicans have done in the one big ugly bill if Congress doesn't act over the next few months. And we know, Lawrence, that they've also shut down medical research and in large measure vaccine availability in the United States of America. This is like immoral stuff that Republicans have done. And so we're going to try to find a bipartisan resolution here, but there's a clear line in the sand that we've drawn around the health care of the American people.
The Democrats want open borders. Let everybody come in. Let everybody pour in. We don't care. Let them come in from the Middle East. Let them come in from all over the place. We don't care. We're not going to let it happen. And by the way, today I signed an executive order. We're going to keep families together, but the border is going to be just as tough as it's been. Democrats don't care about the impact of uncontrolled migration on your communities, your schools, your hospitals, your jobs, or your safety. Democrats put illegal immigrants before they put American citizens. What the hell is going on? Your jobs or your safety. Democrats put illegal immigrants before they put American citizens. What the hell is going on? Illegal immigration costs our country hundreds of billions of dollars. So imagine if we could spend that money to help bring opportunity to our inner cities and our rural communities and our roads and our highways and our schools.
Facts. Build that wall. Build that wall.
So we've already started the wall. We got 1.6 billion. The wall has been started. San Diego and lots of different places. And we go, but boy, it's tough. They want to do anything they can to obstruct and to make sure it doesn't happen, but it's happening. It's happening.
Let's talk about the battle at the U.S. southern border. More buses carrying dozens of migrants arriving in more Democratic-led cities, with leaders now struggling to keep up. And today, Morgan Norwood has more on how cities are working to get migrants the resources they need as the immigration showdown takes political center stage now.
The immigration showdown reaching a tipping point as Texas Governor Greg Abbott and other Republican leaders send migrant buses and flights to Democratic-led sanctuary cities, continuing to stir a political fight. New York Mayor Eric Adams on This Week, sounding the alarm after several migrant buses arrived over the weekend. Adams asking for coordination with the federal government and Governors Greg Abbott and Ron DeSantis. All of this, as he says, an asylum seeker died by suicide in a New York City shelter on Sunday.
This is an American crisis that we need to face.
Governor Greg Abbott's office says that he has sent nearly 11,000 migrants from Texas to Chicago, New York, and Washington. Mayor Muriel Bowser warning cities across the country to get prepared.
This is a national issue. And the nation's mayors need to be prepared.
Meanwhile, Governor Baker of Massachusetts says reform is the best remedy. His outcry comes as Florida Governor Ron DeSantis takes credit for the surprise migrant drop-offs on Martha's Vineyard.
I've been urging Republicans and Democrats in Washington to get together and to pass meaningful immigration reform. It's not a secret to anyone that our immigration system is broken.
And it's evident on the ground in Texas. El Paso's mayor claiming the surge at the border resulted in nearly 2,000 new migrants and asylum seekers per day, most from Venezuela. El Paso swelling beyond its limits, the mayor saying the city has no choice but to bus migrants elsewhere. But at least they're trying to communicate with leaders in those destinations.
All these sanctuary
People are not
cities.
coming to El Paso.
That's
They're
why
coming
y'all
to
see them up
America.
and down y'all
We talk
streets
to
with
them,
them
we say,
loud
where do you
ass
want to go? What's your
scooters.
destination?
And there have been more than 1.8 million migrant apprehensions along the U.S. southern border so far this fiscal year, with Republican governors saying the administration system is broken. Meanwhile, the White House says it's surging resources to the area. I'm Morgan Norwood, ABC.